On this day, it is my privilege to join Chancellor Motley in presenting the John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence to a most deserving student. Shaun O'Grady, please step forward.
Told you we were going to start getting to you. The best and the brightest students are intellectually curious. Shaun, you are described by your professors and peers as intellectually ravenous. As a student of psychology, you have taken every opportunity available to read more, learn more, research more, develop more skills, and do more for other people. Balancing a full class schedule and a position as a community organizer with the South Boston Collaborative Advisory Network, you also served as a research assistant in 3 of our social science labs. In the baby lab, you developed your senior honors thesis on the autism spectrum disorder in our children. Your advisor for that thesis says that in her 15 years in higher education, she has never met any student who works as hard as you, including her graduate students. Oh, including her graduate students. Whoa. She says you maximize the sum of all the characteristics that are important for a career in research. Perhaps this is why, out of more than 10,000 students who applied for the prestigious National Science Foundation Graduate Fellowship this year, you were among fewer than 2,000 who received one, which will be funding your doctoral studies at the University of California, Berkeley. Full round. So, in recognition of this drive to succeed and to use your success to help others, I am pleased to present the 2014 John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence to Shaun O'Grady, young people. JFK Award winner Shaun O'Grady will now present remarks on behalf of your class, the class of 2014. Shaun.
Thank you, Chancellor Motley, for those gracious words, and thank you to our family and friends who are here to celebrate with us today. I was actually kind of surprised when they told me that I would be giving this speech because I actually failed the writing proficiency exam the first time I took it. So. In fact, I'm still worried that somebody from the registrar's office will come out and tell me that I have to take it again or I won't be able to graduate. But I figure if I stall up here enough time, then I'll be good. So, class of 2014, I am honored to have the opportunity to speak to you today. And I would first like to say that I'm so very proud of you all and all of our accomplishments that we've had together over the past 4 years. I would like to start by thanking Professor Zsuzsa Kaldi, as well as all of the faculty and dedicated staff and students in the psychology department and throughout this university. I would also like to thank my psychology honors cohort for being so supportive over the past year And I know we're all very sad that we'll be leaving the nest soon. I'd also like to thank my strong and brilliant wife, Flora, and my entire family for everything that they've done for me throughout my entire life. And lastly, I'd like to thank the Veterans Advisor, Gus St. Silva, and all of the administrators and staff who have helped to make today possible for each and every one of us. So before I begin, I'd just like to mention that my story only recounts one of many successful journeys here today and at this university. Each one of us here has endured incredible tragedies, setbacks, and obstacles along our journey. To me, it's kind of interesting that I'm up here because, like many of you, college was never in the cards for me. I came from a working-class family in Lynn, Massachusetts. We've got some Lynners out there, huh? So both my mother and my father worked very hard to put food on the table and a roof over our head for me and my three siblings, my little sister and my two brothers, who are here today. Growing up in Lynn was pretty tough, and many of my friends are either now dead or in prison due to the violence and substance abuse that has plagued my city and many other communities here in Massachusetts. When I was 17, I dropped out of high school because I thought I could make more money working. It was a really big mistake. After the terrorist attacks of September 11th, I wanted to join the military, but the recruiter told me that without a high school diploma, I was ineligible. So I was determined to join, and I attended North Shore Community College. I received my GED and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. Semper Fi. In the summer of 2006, I deployed to Al-Anbar province, Iraq, where my unit helped to quell the insurgency and stop the civil war that had torn the country apart after the initial invasion. During one of our missions to secure the city of Ramadi, a sniper shot and killed one of my best friends, Corporal Christopher Leon. A few weeks later, I called my mom to see how she was doing back home. She told me that my Nana had passed away and that she was going into the hospital for surgery. I was devastated, and I lost my friend, I lost my Nana, and I felt like I was going to lose my mother as well. Thank you. I felt like everyone around me was dying, and I was powerless to stop it. I fell down, and I didn't want to get back up again. But my friends helped to pick me up, and they taught me that although some of my loved ones were gone, many of them were still here. Thank you. During my time here at UMass Boston, I have been blessed with incredible mentors and supportive friends, people who deeply understand the toll of stress and trauma. Last winter, my brothers and I lost our father, and a few months later, we learned that my mother's cancer had returned. This time, the doctor said it was inoperable, and she would be on chemotherapy. Thank you. Once again, I felt like my loved ones were dying, and I was left powerless. I almost didn't want to come back here and finish my degree, and I probably would have left if it weren't for the support that I received from my friends and mentors here. After my father passed away, 3 of my friends who are now UMass Boston alumni visited me at my house, and their friendship helped me through a very difficult winter. My mentor, Professor Juja Kaldi, shared with me the story of her mother's passing, and her warmth and compassion helped me through a very difficult time in my life. When my lab found out about my mom, some of them covered my lab shifts so that I could take her to her chemotherapy treatments. And a few weeks ago, I saw my first mentor, Professor Nestor, in McCormick Hall. When we saw each other, he asked me how my mom was doing. He didn't ask me how graduation was coming. He didn't ask me how my courses were going. He asked me how my mom was doing because he cared about me and my family. The love and support that I and all of us have received from our friends and mentors here at UMass Boston have helped us find the strength. I have found the strength to help my family and to develop my career in research. My mother is now fighting and winning her second battle with cancer. And as the chancellor told you, I will be starting a PhD program at the University of California, Berkeley. They have no idea what beacons can do. The relationships that I've forged here at UMass Boston have helped me reach this point, and I know that they will continue to enrich my life for years to come. UMass Boston has given me and each of us a wealth of technical skills, skills that allow us to become leaders in business, advocates for informed policy change, dedicated researchers, and innovative artists. In fact, many of you already had full-time jobs while you were attending UMass Boston, and those of you who didn't have developed your careers while you were here. But don't get confused. You aren't in those chairs because of your friends, your family, your professors, or even UMass Boston. You put yourselves in those chairs. Through your own will, your sheer will and determination, you chose to rise above your obstacles, and today we celebrate your accomplishments. However, the question now is not what have you done to get here, but what will you do? UMass Boston has given us the skills, but it will be up to us to put them to good use. Our lives and our successes will not be measured by days like today. They will be measured in the strides that we take to help others like us achieve their dreams and reach their goals. Every day in this city and in others, people are dying from a lack of basic necessities: shelter, food, and water, and safety. Many of us come from neighborhoods disproportionately affected by health and wealth inequity. But today, many of us have defied the odds. A lot of you come from neighborhoods just like Lynn. Many of you are also veterans. And a great deal of you have come from nations many miles away. But no matter where we all came from, we have had to endure incredible tragedies and to overcome innumerable challenges to stand here today against the odds. Every student here today has worked carefully to balance school, work, family, and other personal obligations. All of us here today have overcome these challenges to earn our degrees while also being engaged, globally minded citizens inside and outside the classroom. UMass Boston continues to lead the way in providing access to resources for people who do not for underrepresented populations who would not have a shot in this world. Although some of our friends and loved ones could not be here to celebrate with us, we can honor their passing by helping others who have experienced traumas and prejudices like our own. Before I finish, I would like to say two last things. First, to the families of our proud and capable graduates, take stock of what we have done here today and over the past 4 years. Go back to your communities and tell them about how we defied the odds. Tell them what we did so that they too know that they can overcome their obstacles. And finally, to the graduates of 2014, know that this is your world just as much as it is anyone else's in it. And just as we have an equal claim to this world's bounty, we each share an equal obligation of service to build, empower, and sustain our communities. Congratulations, class of 2014. We are beacons of hope in this world, and we will continue to lead and light the way for others to follow.
Powerful. Powerful. That's what the University of Massachusetts Boston is all about.